Okay, so welcome to the demonstration for my assignment 2. I'll first use the tool NMAP, which is a tool to scan a targeted address to identify the availability or the details of the address. So here, all I have to do is put in a targeted address in the network and choose type of scans over here. So here you can see a ping scan is where I can use for a very quick scan to check if the address is available or it is up or not. So let's test with the scanme.nmap.org, which is the address that NMAP developed for user to test the scans. So all my jobs here is to press scan, and here you can see the result come very quickly, and we can see the result here is the host of this address is up with only 0.18 latency, which is very low. Okay, so here I'll be trying with my personal IP address, which is in my personal computer. So let's try to scan it. You can see it's starting. Okay, so as you can see, we have our results here. It was my personal computer, and here the ports. When the NMAP tried to scan, they got ignored. But they scanned 7 ports in this address, which is currently open, and I think this is the services that I use for my computers. So here you can see we got a few ports opening for Microsoft service and ports so that I can communicate with other computers in the network. And here another one for Microsoft. I think it would take more further detail to specify which services are these. But here you can see here's the one for MySQL, which is a service that I use on computer. And here we have the web service API, which is also another port so that I can use the internet. Next up, let's try using an intent scan, right? So basically the intent scan is like the include of all of the type of scan over here. But I'm going to demonstrate the normal intent scan. I would safely use the scanme.nmap.org because if I target it that is not mine, it might become an accidental attack to deny the service. So let's use the safe one. Click on scan. Here you can see the process are starting. Okay, so let's get into the details. So here you can see the scan report started from over here. So as you can see, the host is up, which is the result for ping scan. And here are the ports associated with the scanme address. Here you can see the host keys and the encrypting methods that Linux use. At port 80 we have HTTP, which is basically the internet, which is like the elements on the web content, which is the title, the favicon, and the server header. For the host might be using the Linux OS and all these with the percentage that they think that it might correct. So it takes 18 hops for my device to reach this address. The hops here is like the times that my computers was redirected to different address until I reach the final destination. So here in the trace route result, I can see all the details of the 18 hops, which would be provided if I run a quick trace route run over here. So it's included in the intent scans. So let's look at the hops details. So first let's look at this, which would be my home Wi-Fi routers. So the router would be routing me away from my home to the owner of the router provider, which I use VNPT. So it takes several hops to VNPT to finally jump out of the country, which here you can see from the address from PCCW Global, which is like a global provider of networks. So it takes a few more hops to finally reach the scanme.nmap.org. So it takes 18 hops. So that's pretty much it is for the scan details. So here we have the topology, which is like the map for the hops that we have just analyzed. And here I have the two of my local computers. And here you can see my local home Wi-Fi, the provider, finally the PCCW Global, and finally to the scanme.nmap. Next up, I'll be demonstrating the OWASP ZAP, which is the second tool in this assignment. Developer used to find vulnerabilities in their web applications, and how it works is that it conducts penetration attacks onto every corner of the website, so that it can identify all the existing vulnerabilities. All I have to do is first click on automated scan. Here we will be generating a scan, which is an attack on the targeted website to identify all the vulnerabilities. So the steps are first to provide the web URL. Here I got the URL of a website that is specifically designed for testing purposes. When the attack is conducted, there might be chances that the website got denials of services, or you might got the website down. So I'll be using a website that is provided by OWASP themselves. Here, all I have to do is click on the attack button and the process will begin. Here you can see there's a thing called a spider that would be crawling all around the website and looking all around the directories and files to conduct an attack. Here you can see the methods and the process and the URL that the spider is around. And there are flags here that are alerts that the spider found. Okay, so the run just completed running. And here you can see the result in the alerts section. Here we got the number of alerts that is reported. And here we can click on certain place so that it locates the place on the HTML where vulnerabilities identified. So in order to view a more comprehensive view, let's generate a report by clicking on generate a report over here. So here you can see we got a report generated and the site that I've used to generate it and the summaries for the report. So here they summarize how many numbers of risks that is identified along with the confidence. So we got a total of 23 total risks, with 2 of them being very high. And down here we have a particular alerts description for each one. Like this one is the PII disclosure. It's like the exposure of personal information of customers, such as CC number, SSN, and similar sensitive data, which is very dangerous. So they categorize it as a high-level risk. And the confidence being high here means that the application is very confident about the accuracy of these alerts. So we have other information like credit card type and bank identification that could be leaked when customer input into the website. So we got the location of the vulnerabilities were detected, and they also provide a solution for us, which is ensure that nothing sensitive is leaked by the application. So if we wanted to look at it more detail, let's click on this button. So it takes us to the appendix. Here we got the CWE ID of the case, and basically this is where the common witness enumerations is located, so that we can know what is happening and know what to do with the vulnerabilities. So here we have the case of exposure of private personal information to an unauthorized actor. Also, we have a very important part is this common consequences, like it's the consequence that this might affect on our CIA trial, which is highly violated confidentiality when the very sensitive data of user is being leaked on the server. So it's also have a very useful demonstrative examples, which like real life examples that the case has been going on. Like this one, they do not encrypt any of the passwords associated with the account. Then it returns the plain text form of the password. So as you can see, it's very dangerous in this case because they can easily retrieve the passwords of the account. And here they also provided with potential mitigations, like how secure design may interfere with privacy and vice versa. They also provided with detection methods to maybe detect further vulnerabilities, like that is a lag. So let's take a look at another risk. Here we got a vulnerable JS library, which is evaluated as medium risk and medium confidence. So the application have identified that one of the jQuery version was vulnerable. So here's the location of the request and the evidence that is located in the website. And the solution of this is simply to upgrade to the latest version of the jQuery. So let's look at the CWE ticket of this, more detailed look. So here you can see that this is categorized as an inclusion of functionality from untrusted control sphere. So here it affects all 3 aspects of the CIA triad because the attacker, they could insert malicious code into the untrusted place in the website, which is using the JavaScript, so that they can take the full control over the 3 aspects of CIA. They provided us with very demonstrative example. Here you can see this login webpage, they had a weather widget. So, but it comes from an external website that is not trusted. So if an attacker, they inserted the code into this weather widgets part, they can have a complete control into the whole page. The attacker would have the passwords and username of the user sent directly to them. you can see we have the potential mitigations, which to redesign an architecture of the website, but we could just stick with the one that the report provided us with, which is upgrade to the latest version of jQuery JavaScript.